You just crashed your car, had an accident, and you don't know what to do. Who do you call? Who can you trust to make your car look like new? Where there's only one name you need to know, there's only one place to go. Dave's Autobody. You better call Dave's.
So you'll notice that with the shop tour here at Dave's Autobody, there's a high emphasis on scorekeeping, for instance. You'll notice behind the reception desk there's a live scoreboard that we talk about in our classes that become quite relevant to instruction and motivation and so on. A very nice customer waiting area. One of the things that I'm most proud of here is what I call the Wall of Fame. And you'll notice at our Wall of Fame, we take live action photographs of all the employees kind of in their natural setting, and then they sign it. Years ago we had the normal mechanics sort of things on the wall, certificates of achievement and so on, and nobody paid any attention to that. Now you'll see customers routinely peruse these, and we're trying to humanize the experience ultimately. So again, nice big waiting area here, nice office work area. Next thing we're going to do is just kind of walk around to the right, and you'll notice one of our sales manager's offices here. First door on the right. This is Kevin. You can see him right while he's live. Another one of our estimators is Zach.
Great, sounds good.
This is Rocky. He's our office manager. Another scoreboard. Can't forget that. That's our production scoreboard. It's also very relevant to the technicians and their level of achievement. Now we'll go out into our metal shop. So one of the things that you'll notice with our metal department, first of all, it's very bright and it's very clean. The specification that we shoot for here in lighting is 90-foot candles, so to people who understand that specification, they know that's very bright. Most shops that you'll see probably are more like 30 or 40-foot candles of lighting. You'll notice that we do all of our own four-wheel alignment work. This is all kind of the latest, greatest state-of-the-art stuff. The floors are covered with porcelain tile. The porcelain tile is better than ceramic tile because it's many, many times stronger. It's set on something called thin set, and the thin set is sound absorbing. So not only is it very strong and durable and looks nice, the high cool factor, it also creates an ergonomic improvement for the employees because when they walk on it, there's a little bit of sound absorption. I'm going to show you another little feature over here, something that you won't see in hardly any other body shop. You'll notice that the air tools are powered with dual air lines. In fact, I'm going to have Chip demonstrate that for you. Most air tools that you'll see in most shops will just have one line. But listen to that. See how loud that is when you have one line? Now when you put a second line on there, notice how it muffles the sound. That's something called the ears system, and it was created, I found it when I was in Australia. And what it really does for us, it creates a better ergonomic environment for the employee. In addition to that, it also saves air. So basically we use about 1/3 the compressed air that we used to use, and that's quite beneficial. Notice where the toolboxes are positioned. They're all rolling and mobile. Generally in a body shop you would see toolboxes against the walls, but in this particular case these toolboxes are out toward the aisle, and there's a high emphasis on the idea of mobility here. Something else that you'll notice here is a big old air makeup system. So all of our buildings are air made up. That simply means that we're constantly piping fresh air into the buildings for the health and safety of the employee. They're all air, they're air conditioned, they're climate controlled year round. We do a lot of things for the employee's safety as far as the cleanliness of the customer's car. Also notice there's vacuum lines that come off of the air tools. And the idea of that is that when you're sanding something that's very dirty, it vacuums up the dirt right at the point of generation, so you're not sending it all over the employee's body or in their lungs, and you're certainly not getting the customer's car nearly as dirty as most body shops would see. Other features that we do here at Dave's that we're proud of, we oftentimes do larger jobs with a concept called rapid processing technology. It's something that was developed by BMAC Planning Services, where when we have really large projects like this, where you see a whole side aperture is taken out of a vehicle, the roof panels off the vehicle, we'll put 2 technicians on that job at once, and we'll produce that job in half the cycle time that you would if you only had 1 technician working on the car. We'll head on over through our parts room. All of our equipment is state-of-the-art. You might notice over here we have what's called resistant spot welders, those blue machines that are there, and of course they help duplicate the factory weld process. Next stop will be a little room kind of between here and the parts room. One of the things that we discuss in our production management classes is there's two kinds of production resources. There's resources that need to be readily accessible, and there's resources that only need to be available sometimes. This would be an example of that. Believe it or not, I'm going to have you take a shot of a bench. The bench is, a lot of body shops have benches all over. We find that they don't need to be readily accessible in every stall. They usually just collect junk. So we have a singular bench where we direct people to do things that need to be done on a bench. We have an employee break room. You'll notice that also in the employee break room is a scoreboard. And you'll notice, hey, currently the 12th working day of this month, we're actually just a little bit above goal. We should be at 216,000, we're at 217,000. So that's the first day of the month we're finally above goal, it looks like. And we should remain that way the rest of the time this month. This is our parts room, and one of the biggest challenges you have in collision repair is, resourcing the proper parts for cars, making sure you got correct parts that aren't damaged to go on the car. This is a full-time job, and we have a great parts manager who keeps it very organized and neat. The next department we're walking through is our Triage Department, or our estimating department. So what we have here is a bay where we can bring cars in so we don't have to write them outside, write the estimate outside. We can jack them up. We have appropriate tools, as you can see, that are specific to the estimating area, so we can do a minor amount of disassembly in this area so that we don't miss as much when we write an estimate. Next stop, next building, we're going to walk over to our paint shop. And you will notice this paint shop is a very, very modern paint shop. So, if you can kind of get a little bit of a broad view of it here, you'll notice that it's 18 years old, so it's not new, but it probably looks brand new. It's also climate controlled, air conditioned, very clean. One of the things that we're very proud of here is the fact that ergonomics again. It's very quiet. Right now both booths are running, the prep deck is running, and yet it's virtually quiet in here. And it's simply because of the way that we designed all the machinery. Something else I'll have you look at is our paint lab where we do the paint mixing. If you don't mind just stepping in there and taking a quick shot of that, you'll notice that it's very clean and it doesn't smell too bad. Normally speaking, when you walk into one of these rooms, you need a mask because it stinks. But because of the air makeup system that's in our building, you'll discover that we typically don't have a lot of vapor here, and again, we're thinking about the employee health and welfare as we do that. Our paint booths are still reasonably state-of-the-art. One of the things that you'll notice that you won't see in a lot of body shops, here's a lift mechanism, that red thing on the ground, and it's set on rails, like little railroad rails, and what that is actually a car lift. So you can take a disabled car, position it over that, jack it up, and move it sideways into the booth to do painting, which gives us an advantage. We can paint the car at the proper height, and we can move a disabled car. One other thing before we exit the paint shop I'd like for you to see, aside from just the general look of cleanliness and so on, is I'd like for you to just zoom in on this scoreboard right here. That's something that we've kind of revolutionized for our own selves, where this happens to be a great month, February 2014. We're nearing the end of it, and currently 96% of all the paint hours that have went through this paint shop have been done no buff or dirt free. So we define a clean paint job as a paint job that doesn't have to have a mechanical buffer of any kind run on it for any reason. And if you want to know specifics about that, obviously you can talk to me about it. But I'm very proud of that, and I actually give that scoreboard and the fact that employees are kept aware up to the minute of how they're doing a great deal of credit as far as the level of achievement. The last department we're going to stop and look at is our detail department. And we have, pretty proud of my detail department. Do you know that in the summertime, really from spring through early winter, we average a little over 500 cars a month out of this little detail shop. And here you are in a town, Galesburg, Illinois, around 30,000 people, and that requires us to have 8 to 9 full-time detailers at prime time. One of the reasons that we do that is we promote detail as a very important aspect of our business. We don't see it as a lesser part of the business at all. And that's why we hire We have a theory that when we hire people, we hire character and we teach skills, as opposed to hiring skills and trying to teach character. So one of the features that we've done that we've become somewhat well known for regarding the marketing of our business is a product that I have a worldwide registered trademark on called Detail for Life. And what we do there is if you have an automobile accident, we repair your car and it meets certain criteria. Basically, it's a $2,000 job or greater. We'll detail your car 4 times a year, winter, summer, spring, fall, for as long as you own the car. In fact, if you zoom in right here, you can even see this car probably is a Detail for Life car. You can tell by the door face sticker there. So that creates really good loyal customers. In the collision repair business, you oftentimes only see your customer once every 7 or 8 years. Because we offer this free detail, we give them a great opportunity here to develop a relationship with us and see us a little more often than once every 7 to 8 years. So, well, that's kind of it on the tour. So you're free to ask questions, roam about.
Hey, it's Autobody.